In this video, we're going to do some simple US unit conversions. And by simple, we mean that we're going to have a conversion equation and a conversion factor to go from one unit of measure to the other. Okay, so notice at this table, it says what we're starting with, what we want to convert to. We're going to write a conversion equation, possible conversion factors, then we're going to show our conversion process and the result. So let's go through this so you can understand what each of these mean. By a conversion equation, that means we want a statement of the relationships between pounds and ounces. So let's look at our chart. So pounds and ounces are units of weight, and here they are. Okay, so pounds and ounces, and converting them, we have 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So that's going to be our conversion equation. 1 pound equals 16 ounces. Now, possible conversion factors. Now, since these two in fact are equal, which may seem weird, 1 equals 16. The reason 1 equals 16 is because the units are different. 1 pound equals 16 ounces, just like 5 20s will equal a $100 bill. So if we write this as either 1 pound over 6 ounces or 16 ounces over 1 pound, both of these, they equal each other and they both equal 1. And the reason they equal 1 is since if you divide a quantity by the same quantity, you get 1. Now, even though they're written with different units, they are the same amount, so these equal 1. So that means we could use either of these to convert from one unit to another. Now let's do that conversion process, and the tricky part is figuring out which one of these factors you want to use. So we're starting with 4 pounds. Now I'm going to set up multiplying by a conversion factor. Now you're going to choose the one you want to be left with ounces, and you want the pounds to cancel. So that means I want the pounds to cancel, so I want pounds on the bottom, ounces on top. So we'll have 16 ounces over 1 pound. This is what we want to multiply by. Okay, so notice the pounds cancel. So we have 4 times 16 ounces, and we'll multiply 4 times 16 on the calculator and get a result of 64 ounces. In the next one, we want to convert yards to feet. Okay, so looking at our chart, they both measure length, and here we're told that 1 yard equals 3 feet. So that's my conversion equation. 1 yard equals 3 feet. Possible conversion factors, I could write it as 1 yard over 3 feet or 3 feet over 1 yard. Both of these equaling 1. So I want to multiply 10 yards. So if I multiply it by 1, I'm not changing its value, I'm changing its form. I want to be left with feet, so I want the yards to cancel, so I'm going to choose the one with the yards in the denominator. Notice that the yards cancel, and we get 10 times 3 feet, which is 30 feet. Okay. Notice in both of these examples we ended up multiplying. You're always going to multiply by a fraction. Sometimes the number will be left in the denominator and you'll divide at the end because the denominator is that cutting operator where we're dividing. Okay, so don't think you always just multiply by the number. Sometimes you may need to divide, and the best way to know for sure, if you're not familiar with the units, is to use this process. Okay, pints to cups. Pints and cups measure volume, and here we have 1 pint equals 2 cups. So let's write that right here. And just use a C and a dot for cup. Okay, so we have 2.4 pints First let's write our conversion factors. So we can write 1 pint over 2 cups, or we can write 2 cups over 1 pint. Now we want to take 2.4 pints, and let's see what we multiply it by. Well, we want pints to cancel, so we're going to use this one. 2 cups goes on top. The pints cancel, and we multiply 2.4 times 2, which is 4.8 cups is our result. Okay. Now let's look at 2 application problems. So let's highlight our given information, yellow. Sarah needs 1.5 cups of ketchup to make her famous meatloaf recipe. She has a brand new 20-ounce bottle of ketchup in her cupboard. Here's the question. How many ounces of ketchup will she need for her meatloaf? Okay, so she knows how many cups she needs, but she wants to know how many ounces of this 20-ounce container of ketchup she's going to need. So we want to convert 1.5 cups to ounces. Okay. So we need a conversion equation between cups and ounces. Okay, so that's a measure of volume. 1 cup equals 8 ounces. So first we'll write 1 cup equals 8 ounces. Okay. Possible conversion factors, we either want 1 cup over 8 ounces or 8 ounces over 1 cup. Now we'll see which. We want to start with 1.5 cups, and we want to change it to ounces, so I'm going to put my multiply, get my fraction. I want the cups to cancel, so I want the cups in the denominator and the 8 ounces in the numerator. Double checking that my units are canceling. Notice we're going to be left with ounces. So we want 1.5 times 8, which is 12 ounces. Okay, so she'll need 12 ounces of ketchup for her meatloaf, so it looks like she has more than enough in the bottle. Last question. Your new truck weighs 8,000 pounds. We want to know how many tons is this? So we want to convert 8,000 pounds to tons. Okay, so those are measures of weight, so let's find the conversion between tons and pounds. 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds, so that's our equation. Our possible conversion factors are 1 ton over 2,000 pounds or 2,000 pounds over 1 ton. So now let's see which one we need to use. We want to convert 8,000 pounds, so we're going to start with 8,000. Put our multiplication, set up our fraction. We want pounds to cancel, so we want that in the denominator, so that would be this one. 2,000 pounds, and 1 ton goes on top. I double check that the pounds cancel, 1 on top, 1 on bottom, so I will be left with tons. Notice in this case, this is what I was referring to before, the numerator we have 8,000 times 1 is 8,000. The denominator, you can think of this over 1 if you want, is going to be 2,000. And our result is going to be tons. But notice we didn't multiply by the 2,000. In this case, we needed to divide by it via this fraction with the 2,000 in the denominator. This is going to be 4, but we can check it. 8,000 divided by 2,000 is 4 tons.